The hidden secrets of ancient Rome that history doesn't want you to know. What if I told you that over 2,000 years ago, the Romans feared not only the gods, but also otherworldly beings? Deep within the catacombs, among the shadows of forgotten temples and beneath the cloak of stars that illuminated the empire, forbidden stories were whispered. Stories of lights in the sky that defied logic, of strange figures in metallic robes walking among humans, and of signs in stones that only the wisest could decipher. Today, we unearth the mysteries that Rome sought to erase from history. From augurs who interpreted impossible signs to emperors who trembled before unknown presences, prepare for a journey through time, where power, fear, and the inexplicable intertwine in a dance that defies all reason. Flying saucer, are you ready to discover the extraterrestrial encounters that shook the world's most powerful empire? Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any of these epic secrets that change everything you thought you knew about history.
Imagine a world where the Roman Empire not only conquered lands and erected colossal marble monuments, but also looked to the heavens in awe and awe. Among the legions marching to the sound of bronze trumpets, and the cities vibrating with the bustle of markets, some Romans witnessed something that defied all human understanding. In the annals of time, on dust-covered scrolls, lie accounts that for some could be evidence of encounters with beings from other worlds. This is the forgotten history of those prodigies in the heavens, of the lights that danced over the battlefields, and of the gods who were perhaps nothing more than visitors from the stars. The breeze was heavy in northern Italy in the year 218 BC. The air vibrated with the tension of impending war as Hannibal and his elephants marched toward Rome. In the midst of this storm of nerves and steel, the Roman legionaries guarding the hills of Placentia looked up at the heavens when they heard a sound that was neither thunder nor a human voice. What they saw seared fear into their souls. A brilliant object, round as a shield, hurtling across the sky, leaving a glowing trail in its wake. "Jupiter is warning us," cried a veteran, his face hardened by his campaigns in Hispania, but pale as milk in the golden glow that crossed the clouds. The men fell to their knees, whispering prayers as the object disappeared over the horizon. To them, it was a sign of the gods' favor or wrath. But what if it was something more? A visitor from another world observing Rome's fate with detached curiosity. Years later, in the turbulent sea between Greece and Asia Minor, the waters ran red with blood as the fleets of Rome and Pontus clashed in a fierce battle. The sky darkened, and just as the Roman ships seemed to give way to the fury of the waves and enemy arrows, a blinding light ignited high above. From the clouds descended a shape that defied all logic, an enormous fiery vessel glowing with an intensity impossible to imagine. The soldiers, intoxicated by terror, forgot their swords and shields, mesmerized by the glow reflected off the waves, creating a dance of light and shadow that transformed the sea into a mirror of the sky. The Roman commander, Marcus Licinius, ordered his men to retreat, believing they had invoked the wrath of the gods. However, as the object descended back into the stars, disappearing with a dull whir, a deathly silence fell over both armies. It was not a divine omen, but something far more disturbing. Centuries later, in the shadows of the Library of Alexandria, a young scribe finds a forgotten scroll. The faded letters tell tales of celestial prodigies that even the wisest augurs could not interpret. Tales of lights that moved in patterns no bird could trace, of spheres that revolved like miniature planets, and of figures descending from the sky to observe the pulse of the most powerful empire on earth. If the gods are not gods, the scribe murmurs as the lamplight flickers on the papyrus, then who are they? Today, centuries later, these stories still whisper from the stones of ancient temples and the crumbling walls of forgotten cities. Were they merely exaggerated legends, echoes of primitive superstitions, or fragments of an encounter that still defies our understanding? Perhaps the gods of Rome not only walked among men, but also descended from the stars, their eyes cold as the void, silently observing the rise and fall of the eternal empire. The air in Rome in 38 AD was heavy, leaden with the sense of spices and sweat, of life and death. In the private chambers of the imperial palace, Messalina, young and powerful, watched the city from her balcony. Her deep blue eyes reflected the moonlight, but her mind was in shadows. Since she was a child, she had heard rumors of signs in the sky, of gods descending to play with the fates of men. However, a recent experience had left her uneasy. One night, while attending a banquet on the Palatine Hill, the sky opened with a flash that made the marble columns tremble and the bravest shudder. An incandescent sphere, brighter than any star, crossed the firmament, leaving a trail of light that seemed to cut through the night itself. Conversations ceased, glasses stopped halfway to lips, and silence fell over the great hall. "Has Mars abandoned us?" one of the senators whispered, his voice trembling like a lost child's. But Messalina was not afraid. She was an empress, daughter of an ancient dynasty, and her heart beat with the fury of Rome itself. But that night, something in her veins felt the cold touch of infinity, as if a shadow had passed over her soul. The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight bathed the stones of the forum, rumors began to spread like wildfire through the slums of Suburra. Some said they had seen luminous figures descending from the sphere. Others murmured about strange voices echoing in their dreams. And the most daring claimed that the gods had returned to reclaim their lost kingdom. Thus, amid whispers and shadows, a mystery began to unfold that would defy the logic of philosophers, augurs, and emperors. Rome, the heart of the known world, was perhaps watched not only by the gods, but by something much older and unknown, something that looked down from the stars and perhaps had decided it was time to walk among men again. However, the mystery didn't stop there. As the days turned into months, darker rumors began to emerge. Priests of the Temple of Jupiter claimed to have received messages in dreams, visions of glowing-eyed metallic-skinned creatures walking among the shadows of the capital. Some said these beings were not gods, but emissaries from a realm far older than time itself. And so the foundations of Rome began to shake, not only from rebellions on the borders, but from whispers that the heavens had opened their gates and that unknown beings now walked among men. And when the stars finally aligned, Rome faced not only the barbarian legions, but also the mysteries of the heavens. And so, Messalina ventured into the dark passages of the palace, searching for answers, where shadows whispered secrets no mortal man should hear. And so began the true conspiracy of the heavens. And in those dark corridors, a voice whispered her name. For example, and the shadows began to move, revealing secrets that would forever change the fate of Rome.
Dear time travelers and lovers of eternal stories, I am Messalina, and I have a little secret for you. The gods reward those who support their favorite storytellers. If this corner of myths, legends, and mysteries has sparked your curiosity, I invite you to follow my channel and activate the bell so you don't miss a single trip through time. And if you want this legacy to grow and continue exploring together the greatness of Rome and beyond, you can leave your offering on PayPal or Patreon. The links are in the description, because even the gods know that any help allows for the forging of eternal works. I promise you that if you do, the gods will bring you peace, prosperity, and perhaps a little touch of fate. Your gestures do not go unnoticed, and my gratitude will be as infinite as time itself.
Or myth. The idea that ancient Rome may have had contact with extraterrestrial civilizations is a topic that undoubtedly captivates the imagination. We'll delve into a realm where history is intertwined with speculation. However, it's crucial to recognize from the outset that we lack solid scientific evidence to support this hypothesis. What we'll explore are interpretations and possibilities based on historical and mythological sources. Our research is based primarily on three fundamental pillars. First, ancient texts, the writings of Roman authors such as Pliny the Elder and Cicero. Second, the rich Roman mythology, with its gods and supernatural beings. And finally, the Romans' remarkable openness to cultural adaptation and their insatiable interest in exploration. Ancient texts often describe unexplained celestial phenomena, strange lights in the sky, unidentified flying objects, unusual atmospheric events. Could these descriptions be interpreted as sightings of spacecraft, or as manifestations of extraterrestrial technology that the ancient Romans couldn't understand? It's important to remember that these are only interpretations. We cannot say with certainty that these events were encounters with beings from other worlds. The line between speculation and evidence is, in this case, very thin. Roman mythology is replete with gods with superhuman powers and the ability to travel through the skies. Jupiter, with his lightning bolt, Neptune, ruling the seas, Mars, god of war. Could these gods be interpreted as extraterrestrials, advanced technological beings that the Romans perceived as magic or divinity? Many gods are intrinsically linked to celestial phenomena, such as lightning and storms. Could this be a manifestation of unknown technology, misinterpreted by an ancient civilization? Again, we must be cautious. Mythology is a rich source of symbolism and allegory, but not necessarily evidence of extraterrestrial contact. The idea of gods as advanced extraterrestrial beings is, for now, pure speculation. The Romans were known for their remarkable capacity for cultural adaptation. They adopted the customs, religions, and technologies of the peoples they conquered. Their empire spanned vast territories, driven by an insatiable interest in exploration. Could this open-mindedness have prepared them for the possibility of extraterrestrial life? Perhaps in their quest for knowledge and expansion, the Romans were more open to the idea of contact with civilizations from other worlds than we might imagine. Ancient Rome is famous for its impressive infrastructure. Roads connected the entire empire. Aqueducts supplied water to cities. Some theorists suggest that this infrastructure, so advanced for its time, could have been built with extraterrestrial technological assistance. Is it possible that the Romans received help from beings from other planets? It's a tempting idea, but we must be critical. Roman infrastructure is a testament to Roman engineering and innovation, not necessarily evidence of foreign aid. It is essential to approach this topic with a healthy skepticism. Many of the celestial phenomena described in ancient texts can be explained by natural events. Comets, meteorites, the northern lights, all these phenomena could have been interpreted as signs from extraterrestrial beings. Roman mythology, for its part, is an expression of religious beliefs and worldviews, not necessarily an accurate historical record. The impressive Roman infrastructure is a testament to Roman ingenuity and organizational skills. We don't need to resort to extraterrestrial explanations to understand their achievements. It's crucial to critically evaluate the evidence and consider alternative explanations. We shouldn't rule out the possibility of extraterrestrial contact, but we shouldn't accept it without solid evidence either. The idea that ancient Rome may have had contact with extraterrestrial civilizations is an intriguing topic. It invites us to reflect on the possibility of life on other planets and the history of humanity from a different perspective. However, we must acknowledge that there is no concrete evidence to support this hypothesis. Interpretations of ancient texts and myths are interesting, but they do not constitute definitive proof. Until irrefutable evidence is found, the idea of extraterrestrial contact in ancient Rome will remain speculation. A fascinating speculation, but speculation nonetheless.